What impact is the book Clinton Cash and a new Democratic candidate having on Hillary Clinton's campaign? Joining us now, Ron Fournier, columnist for National Journal. So what did you think of the interview with Peter Schweizer? And is the press making his book, at least for now, the issue in the Hillary campaign?
I thought he did a good job defending himself. I'm familiar with the position he's in. The Clintons, like a lot of politicians, when they're under attack, like to attack the messenger. I think he's holding up pretty well.
And it's not just him, of course. New York Times, Washington Post, Fox News have all built on his reporting.
That's the thing. The Clinton campaign wants us to make this about him, not the fact that there's all kinds of reporting out there that shows that there's some severe conflicts of interest and some real questions that she has to answer. The media tends to want to make this, like you said in the intro, what's the impact on the campaign? I think, and this is where actually he had a point, this should be about what is this, how does this reflect on what kind of leader she would be? Is she going to be transparent? Is she going to follow the rules? Is she going to be ethical? Is she going to put the country ahead of her personal interests? This story, not his book, the story, her actions in both the email thing and the way they handle the foundation raise serious questions about what kind of leader she'll be.
Candidate Clinton has had nothing to say about the book, despite the avalanche of publicity it's gotten. But her spokesman, Brian Fallon, he found some remarks that Peter Schweizer made at a Koch brothers event last year. We talked about fighting back against the left, and you heard him say he makes no bones of being conservative. And so he told The Hill, I just want to read you this quote, "This is the clearest evidence yet that this widely discredited book is part of a coordinated Republican attack strategy."
Right. They want to make this about the Republicans. They want to make it about that book. They don't want to make it about the facts. They don't want to explain why she took her emails rogue and has refused to turn over her server. They don't want to make it about why she promised the White House, her president, our president, that she would not the foundation would not take foreign donations, and yet they did. They don't want to make it about why they claim that they couldn't release the fact that there was over 1,000 secret donations, when in fact they could. They don't want to make it about her actions. They want to make it about us in the media, and they want to make it about whether or not this affects her campaign. As soon as her polls start going up, they'll say, "Oh, the people don't care about this. This is old news." Well, this can never be old news. The way their record and their actions reflect on how they'll be as a leader.
Right. The old news thing was a classic technique by the Clinton White House when Bill was president.
And they're not the only ones. Republicans do it as well.
Sure.
All these techniques are very, they're very old. We're looking for a new kind of leader. She has a capability in my mind of being a transformational leader in our country, but not if she keeps behaving like this.
All right, so now she's got at least a nominal opponent, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, jumping into the race, getting some attention. Is the press going to build him up because we desperately want some kind of contest on the Democratic side?
You're talking about our bias. Our biggest bias is for conflict. So, yeah, we want a contest. Democrats in Iowa want a contest. Democrats in New Hampshire want a contest for their reason. So any glimmer of a fight, especially from the left, which is where she's vulnerable, we'll seize on. So I think
despite the fact that he's a zillion points down and that Bernie Sanders is not going to be our next president.
He's never going to be president. But there will come a time, I think, in this primary season where Hillary Clinton will look like she's not invulnerable. She's going to be the nominee, I think. She has a very good chance of being president. But there will be a time when she's a lot more scared than she realizes she's going to be, and that we think that she can be. Somebody is going to give her a scare.
All right, half a minute. So will the media be giving Bernie Sanders the appropriate amount of attention, or are we going to kind of build him up because he's the only other person in the race?
Well, I guess it depends what you mean by appropriate amount of contention. This gets back to a foundational thing. If the only issue is whether or not he can become president, then we should ignore him. But that's not the only issue here. He's raising some serious issues, some serious policies and concerns. I mean, the idea that he's making the point that can somebody who's not a billionaire, not backed by billionaires, become president? That's a very serious question, an important question. So I don't think we can give him too much credit on that regard. If this is all about polls and we're going to be poll-driven in the media, then we're going to ignore him.
All right. I'm all for focusing on the issues that he's raising. That would spark a good debate.
Let's focus on him.
Got to go. Ron Fournier, thanks for stopping by.